7Artisans AF 135mm F1.8 MAX camera lens for Nikon Z mount, the portrait depth you've been missing. You know that moment after a portrait session when everything felt right, but the files look slightly flat? The subject is sharp, yet the image lacks depth. It's subtle. Over time, that quiet gap between what you saw and what you captured becomes frustrating. One photographer told me he nailed the lighting, yet the background refused to separate. That feeling adds up. Have you noticed that too? That small compromise quietly drains more than you think. You spend extra time editing, nudging contrast, masking backgrounds, trying to create depth that should have been there. It costs time, then confidence. A wedding shooter shared how he stayed up reworking portraits that never quite popped. The tension builds slowly. There is a cleaner way to shoot telephoto portraits without fighting your files. This is where the 7Artisans AF 135mm F1.8 MAX camera lens for Nikon Z mount enters, and everything changes. At its core, it pairs a bright f1.8 aperture with a 135mm focal length to deliver strong subject compression and natural separation straight out of camera. Don't just buy any telephoto prime lens. Make sure it has a fast f1.8 aperture and advanced optical design so you never suffer from flat, lifeless backgrounds again. That combination becomes a quiet advantage. First, portraits gain depth without aggressive editing. Second, low-light events feel manageable rather than stressful. Third, the 0.68 meter close focus lets you move in tighter than expected for expressive details. Fourth, the 12-blade diaphragm renders soft, cinematic bokeh that flatters faces naturally. And yes, I tested this myself. During an indoor recital, I opened to f1.8 and the stage lights melted beautifully behind the subject. On a street shoot at dusk, autofocus locked quickly and stayed consistent. The lens feels purpose-built for portraits, yet flexible enough for events and selective video work. That balance matters. Once you look at the broader feedback, the picture becomes clear. Immediate result? Stronger subject isolation with less effort. Weekly win? Fewer hours correcting files in post. Long-term freedom? A portfolio that looks intentionally crafted rather than rescued. F-stoppers noted fast, silent STM autofocus with only 2 missed shots during a demanding field trip. The photoblogger described it as a gorgeous lens with strong image quality and impressive autofocus after firmware updates. One Nikon Z user mentioned that even in low-light sports, the keeper rate felt comparable to far more expensive glass. That matters. I noticed this after 3 weeks of consistent use. The weight faded into the background, but the rendering stayed memorable. Compared with higher-priced alternatives, it offers much of the visual character photographers want without the same financial stretch. It does not pretend to be something it isn't. It simply performs reliably. If you've been balancing cost against performance, this lens makes that equation feel less tense. Which of these benefits hits you hardest? Comment 1 for separation, 2 for low-light control, 3 for value balance. At the end of the day, the real shift is emotional. Your portraits start matching what you envisioned before pressing the shutter. That confidence compounds quickly. Availability has been steady, but interest in the 7Artisans AF 135mm f1.8 MAX camera lens for Nikon Z mount continues to grow as more Nikon Z users discover it. Simple decision. If you're ready to stop compensating in post and start trusting your files again, link in the description. First one pinned to the top. It might be the upgrade your future self thanks you for.
For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.